This is the story of the design and the management of Jarry's holiday rental that we were not too sure to provide due to the non-touristy location in Malaga.
My name is Jari Laurela. I work in investment banking in Finland, and I have a portfolio of 10 apartments in Finland. Wanted to start investing also abroad. I got a tip from a real estate broker, and that your team has done a really work in other projects. So I wanted to discuss it with you.
So our main criteria when we select a property that we will manage for holiday rental are first the location, so it has to be appealing for tourists, it has to be in the historic center ideally. The second one is the visual aspect. It has to be great looking, to be highlighting on the market, to become different, so the price per night can be higher also. So to match those two criteria, this property was not ideal because it's 15 minutes away by walk from the center and the visual look was not okay.
We did a visit of the apartment and took our photos, videos, measurements. We had to come up with what it would need in order to make it a little bit more special. Something that gave a bit more of a feeling of a luxury apartment because we need to bring it up to our REM standard.
To compensate the fact that the location is not ideal, so we offered Jarry this project with this philosophy and he was totally aligned. So Jarry was in right away, he understood the purpose of it.
I was very impressed in the first meeting. That was very well prepared. You already had a kind of a first kind of a plan.
So as a client, Jarry experienced different phases. The first step being the pre-study. So that's the moment where there is no engagement between the client and REMS. Basically, the client got offered three different project quality, where we show some mood boards, we show some potential return. So once Jarry said, yes, okay, pre-study, I'm in for the highest, the luxury one. That's the moment we stepped in the contract, where we as a company compromise on the duration of the project, the cost of the project and the quality.
That was very easy for a customer to just accept the theme, and then we move forward to make the plan together and also discuss about the budgets and what are the items that should be done. And it's very easy for me just to make decisions based on your proposals.
So once the contract is signed, that's the moment we do the final study. The final study includes all the detail about the project, and Jarry in that case took the extra mile and did go even further than what is signed for. So it really was betting on the best quality possible.
We chose to go with the minimalist design style because it was a preference of the owner to go with something quite modern, and with the minimalist design style you can use a lot of LED light. As there was not a lot of natural light in the apartment, this was really helpful to try and bring some light in.
We started the reform with our own team of workers. Jarry was receiving an update every week. Pictures, video, comments from Kate, being aware of what's going on site.
We created some unique features to make it appealing for the marketing team to market it well. We have a really nice electric fireplace. There's like the big mirror in the hallway is pretty unique because it was custom made. I did do the paintings in the apartment myself because I was able to provide the artworks. It saved a little bit of the budget for other things in the project.
That was the first time ever we delivered a minimalist style, so I put my full trust on Kate, of course. And when I saw the place for the first time I was with Jarry, I was very impressed. It was in the same time minimalist and comfortable. I really loved it.
I'm totally amazed. This exceeds all my expectations. Honestly, this is totally different apartment now. Whole project went just in the schedule that we have planned. It was made below the budget, which is really strange at these times. So that was very good service from you.
The first time we saw the place with Jarry was also the first time we met in person, since all the process was remote. Basically from the pre-study, the final study and the final report, everything was done through Google Meet, message on the WhatsApp client group. So that was the first time we met and the first time we met the place. We did the interview at that moment and it was very blissful to witness the satisfaction of the client after such a project that he bet and trust our capacity, and we didn't disappoint him.
His reaction, he was so kind, made me feel even better about the final results. He was very kind enough to send me a lovely gift afterwards, and I felt appreciated.
So right after the design project was done, we start what we call the preparation phase. And there is many things included. First, the home staging, the photo shoot, the inventory of the place for the guests to have all the amenities they need. There is also the creation of all the listing on all the online travel agency website. And then we have to connect it to our system and to create also the connection with the police registration, which is the legal check-in that's mandatory in Europe.
We really anticipated the preparations for the holiday rental while the design was at the final stage. I remember we were having the cleaning staff finishing one space. After that, the designer enters, arranges everything for the home staging. The photographer comes and takes photos while the workers were still finishing assembling the last furniture in another spaces. It was a recently purchased apartment. There was absolutely no inventory, no internet. So the inventory was done while the works were happening in the apartment. All the purchases were made way before because we wanted to open it by the Holy Week, Semana Santa, one of the biggest holidays in Malaga. This is when thousands of travelers are actually going to the cities like Malaga just to observe this the procession and the traditions. And the new announcements sometimes don't have the perfect occupancy. Sometimes they stay for a few nights unbooked simply because they don't have any credibility on the platform. They have 0 reviews. It's very difficult. But in this case, the apartment was booked despite being located in the further area from the city center. We just managed to receive the first reservations at a very good price, even though there were no reviews. Once we finished all the preparations, the owner receives a complete report where we state all the actions that have been taken, how many people actually participated in the project. We are stating the timeline, links to the announcements, whole photo shoot, and at the same time, the owner receives the access to their personalized owner portal or owner app, where they are able to receive notification in real time of each reservation that arrives, see the price of the reservation, how many people, for how long is the stay, and they can control it any time they want, know at any moment, just by taking their phone and looking at their app.
I'm very happy that you are a Superhost, because me as a tourist, I will only pick the apartments that are hosted by the Superhost, so kind of a high standard on that. So it is important that the visitors will feel the same, and you will meet those expectations. And really like this kind of a personal check-in that you have, that somebody in person that is making them welcomed to this apartment.
When it comes to the properties that are located in, let's say, non-touristic locations, you have to compensate it somehow with some extra steps. We always provide our guests with the guest guide, which is a set of information, instructions on how to get to the apartment from the airport, how to find the parking in the area, what are our recommendations on local restaurants, museums and other facilities. In my personal opinion, what makes our property management services special is that personalized approach, both for the guests and for the property owners as well. Because, for example, when the guests are coming, for most of them it's usually their first time in Malaga, so our property manager is the first person they see in this city, and you have a real person showing you around the city, going with you to the apartment, giving you some local advices. And on the other hand, there is an option for like a self-check-in with a smart lock. So right after they complete the police registration, they receive the instructions. When it comes to the property owners as well, you have a property manager assigned to your property, and you know the person who is in charge, who is the person behind this monthly email that you receive with your invoice and report on the recent activities. So I believe it's really, really important and great, and makes our services different.
After betting on a great design, although the location was not ideal, we have a good result since the price per night is higher than the market, but the average occupancy in the same area is 54% for a 2-bedroom apartment, and we did achieve to get 90% occupancy. This project is a success because the client owner is satisfied, but also for us it's a success because it opened the door to start the property management in a new area, to not be only in the city center and in the most touristic location, but also to extend our capacity on the supply chain and on receiving tourists in the best way, getting good reviews in the surroundings of Malaga.
I can feel that all the visitors will be very amazed when they come into this property. This works perfectly for this purpose, so this is perfect.
After such a project that he bet and trust our capacity, and we didn't disappoint him. I choked. Yeah. It was super satisfying to see that the client was happy and we didn't disappoint him. It's really hard to say.
I decided that I could do them myself, and yeah, that's a terrible explanation.
I did my job to as bad. Oh.
I'll do it again. It was very satisfying for us to witness the satisfaction. It was satisfaction. No. Okay, cut please.
Can you
Not move.
I'm just afraid we're doing everything with my eyes being red and it's gonna be weird.
This was a long time ago.
I cannot say that.
No.
Well, you can cut.